Hello, students. Today we are going to see the general introduction to ARM processor. Right? If you see in your syllabus, we'll be having three processors. First one is microprocessor, which is 8085, and second one we have the microcontroller 8051, and third one we go for the ARM processor. Okay, the name ARM, ARM, the name ARM is the abbreviation for ARM is advanced risk machine, right? What do you mean by risk? Means reduced instruction set computer. Okay, what do you mean by reduced instruction set? The basically when you say reduced instruction set, uh, most of the time whenever we write a code, right, where even in your normal programming, the more efficient way of representing the code is minimizing the number of lines and trying to run the code. Okay, so what happens when you minimize the lines of the code? The time taken for compiling will be very less. Okay, that is the main advantage when you go for the reduced instruction set. Here also, if you see 8085 microprocessor and if you see 8051 microcontroller, in both the cases the number of instruction, because these are all not software language written programs, right? So these are the languages which is written based on the instructions, right? Each and every operation has to be instructed by the user, where the data has to be moved, from where the data has to be processed, and the processed output can be stored in which location. Even the data which is going to be stored in the memory location also we have to give. It does not take automatically. Okay, so in these cases if you see, it is very difficult because for any applications we have to write more amount of lengthier instructions, because instructions are you cannot combine 4 and 5 instruction at the same time. For example, if you want to add two numbers, consider a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3. You have to add these two numbers. So first what happens is, in microprocessor or microcontroller, the ALU is responsible for the arithmetic and logic operation. So first we have to move the data to a register, right? And then we have to move the second data to the ALU, and we then third step we have to bring the data which is first stored in the register to the ALU, and in the ALU the arithmetic operation happens. After that the result has to be stored in the, so if you say line by line, nearly a 10 to 15 instructions are used step by step for the compiling of this simple task. Okay, so due to the more amount of lines used, the more amount of compiling time is taken. Okay, so for a high level applications, these type of too much of instruction and compiling time affects the system performance. So they move to the next time called reduced instruction set computer. So in the reduced instruction set computer, the advanced model we called as a ARM processor. Okay, so when you say introduction, the in now 1990, Acorn Computers is the first computers to form this ARM processor. Okay, normally all the persons are will be calling this as ARM, ARM capital, right? So there are many different companies in many places started to develop and speak about this ARM processor. Okay, so whenever we say um, ARM processor, right? The main advantage in the ARM processor is that it has different core designs, right? Core is nothing but when you say core. So when you say core, the actual definition for core is nothing but ICs, that is integrated circuit with two or more separate processing units is called as cores, right? So the ICs, separate ICs and processing units is provided for each core. Okay, so that the efficiency of the system is very high. So how it works? So each and every code will read and execute program instruction as if the computer have like several processors. So these are the ARM office worldwide. Okay, different companies having their own ARM processors, right? And if you see why we have to go to ARM processor, already said the first thing is that due to the more amount of instruction sets, then due to the more amount of compiling time, the ICs or integrated circuits or microcontrollers or microbus started to heat, right? So it takes more amount of power consumption also more. But when you come for the ARM, the power consumption is very low because the different type of cores are there, which act, each and every core act as a separate processor, right? So first thing, the power consumption is very low. Second thing, the execution, since it is only using RISC, that is reduced instruction set computer, the fast execution is happening. Second, the amount of price rate is also is not much expensive, and it can provide variety of cores, right? Instead of having an individual processor inside the ARM itself, we can use different type of cores based on the application, right? This is the main reason why people started to prefer more on ARM processors. So when you say ARM technology, and we speak about the digital India, there was a time all speak about the digital world. Okay, so for the basic need for the digital world is given by this ARM, right? So the ARM physical hardware design is already patented, and the company has its own intellectual property rights. So whatever companies which is using this ARM, what they do is they buy the architecture and the physical hardware design, but the core can be altered. Okay, ARM's license its core already, they have their own cores, but company can make processor based on its cores, right? For example, if a Samsung company is framing its own IC, they'll be using the same architecture of the ARM, and they use the same architecture ICs of the ARM. But only thing is that the core can be altered, and the company will be using the core as per their requirements, right? So ARM has its own tools, debugging tools, for to analyze how the cores are working, right? So these are some of the companies which have got the license for using the ARM. Main thing is that we got Microsoft, IBM, Apple, Nokia, Atmel. Okay, uh, then we have Freescale, Epson. So there are Qualcomm, right? Even Qualcomm, Apple, Toshiba, Texas, all uses this ARM only. Okay, because ARM does not use any silicon fabrication. So that is the main advantage why they use this ARM. Okay, this is the ARM technology overview. We can see here, right? We can see this is the ARM core, ARM 7. There are different type of cores are available. We will be seeing later. So the other basic peripherals will be placed in the same way. The memory unit, see the memory unit will be having a system for converting analog to digital, as well as we will be having, since we use digital here, the analog signals has to be converted to digital. So we have an ADC converter. Then we'll be having different type of regulators. Then we'll be having a timer and clock circuit. Then watchdog timers. Then we'll be having a serial interface for USB and other different type of things. And we can connect other peripherals. So whatever you see the edges, these are nothing but the pins, right? It is in the form of square. Okay, so these what they are doing is company, they will be buying this ARM processor, and they will be only altering this core, right? other basic purposes will be maintained. The core will be made changed based on the requirement of their applications. Okay. So if you see the ARM history, the first company, Akan Computer Group, developed the first RISC processor. It was not called as ARM, right? It is the first reduced instruction set processor computer, which was developed in 1985. Then this processor was used in the BBC microcomputer in 1986. So if you see whether the only there are many companies, unknown companies, names will be different, but they are not in the market nowadays. So these companies will be providing many number of ICs. So there are in earlier days there are many different computer companies. They used their own manufacture, but after few years they have been bought by the biggest companies, and their names did not come out. Okay, that is the reason where in the olden days, if you see, there are many different companies are there compared to IBM or Apple or something else. So if you see, this is the first ARM embedded ARM processor board, okay, for which is developed for BBC computer. See, if you see, this is the total. The central part is the ARM processor, which is embedded in the onboard. We call this as a onboard processor. A square tape is having a pin structure in four sides, right? Okay. And next one, this is the ARM, which is used by Acorn Computers and Apple, right? The Apple developed a small handheld device called PDA, okay, Personal Assistance One, PDA, in 1993. So this was it has a small stick for which it is not the technology of a touch screen, but it has something like screen based. We can be touched by using this electronic pen. Okay. So in these type of PDAs, right, they used different type of ARM architectures. That is different type means they have changed the core, and there are different type of versions available, version 1, 2, 3. So they used version 3, okay, and they used ARM 6 for these type of applications, right? And then if you see, this is the internal part of the Apple Newton PDA, okay, personal assistance, where you can see in this part, we can easily see the ARM processor, okay, GPS ARM processor, where it has many number of pins in the four side. You can have the pins, right? Okay, so in this inside you will be having different cores, right? Okay, different cores will be available. Uh, So then in 1996, the ARM 7 has been widely used by the Microsoft, right? Windows, they started using the ARM 7. Next, if you see, this is a strong architecture which is running in 233 megahertz, right? Strong ARM. It is a company which have produced ARM processor which is working at the rate of 233 megahertz, right? Later, Intel bought that Storm ARM for their system purposes, right? Okay, and changed the name as Xscale. Okay, then once again, the Xscale has been bought by Marvel Technology Groups, right, in 2000. So these are some of the. There are many numbers. So what I'm trying to infer, this ARM is a common name where they have an architecture, but how far the core has been altered produces the best result for you. Okay, that is very important. So each and every company brought their own processors from outside, where different type of vendors provided a good related, because when you go for 233 megahertz, the frequency and the megahertz is nothing but is for the fetching of the data, right? How much amount of frequency. That's why when we buy our today's processors, right, if you see, we can see the it will be 2.3 gigahertz we can find in the processors, gigahertz, right? It is basically on the how much amount of data the processor can fastly pick or fastly process. So these are the ARM processors, right? There are three different, the ARM Cortex, we call that the core, inside the core, we call it as a Cortex. We got divided Cortex into three different categories, right? We can see the color difference, right? One is A or M, based on the application. If it is a Cortex A, it is used for a highest performance, right? Mostly we use for the operating systems, right? Wherever we use our operating systems, we go for that is all our computer systems use this Cortex A Pro A. When you go for the Cortex R, we this is used for the fast response. That is used for highest performance. This is fast response means, what do you mean by response? When I ask you one thing, how fast you are going to reply to me, right? That is like in when you go for the real time application, it is like a industrial one. When you have a sensor, the sensor has to detect and automatically has to sense and report to the main processor, right? Otherwise it has to report to the fast processor. So most of the things these Cortex are used in high level, it is used in cars, right? Nowadays we go for the autonomous cars. All the autonomous cars have many number of sensors and radars, and these sensors and radars has to be responding very much fastly, right? So and also industrial robots. Okay, then we go for the Cortex M, where it is nothing but the smallest and low power devices we can use. Even our nowadays the Philips company has introduced Wipro Philips has introduced smart bulbs, and we have smart fans, then we have wireless Bluetooth headsets, right? So these of the then we have smart watches. All these uses these Cortex M technology because it is smaller in size. One second, the power taken for this is very less. Okay, so they have a optimized discrete processing and microcontrollers. So these are some of the classifications of the ARM processor. If you see ARM 11, it is up to 11, and if we see the Cortex, it is up to R7. Now it is up to A5. It is based on the application. There are three types. One is ARM processors, then Cortex processors, then we have application-based Cortex processor. Okay, so based on the performance and the capability and their functionality, these Cortex and the ARM processor, basically up to ARM 11, the little bit change in the architecture, that's all. Other than that, all the changes takes place in the core and the Cortex. So if you say this is a embedded ARM Cortex processor, okay, we can see four sides. It is a square type. We have the ARM core inside. Okay, so if you see the basic, it is a 32-bit processor. Okay, it uses only ultra low power. That is, uh, we normally say low power. It's ultra low power means it is the total power used in the microwatt level. See how it is microwatt, right? We normally speak about 5 volt, 6 volt. It is about the power level is up to microwatt, right? Even not watt, less than that, right? Then it also has a number of gates are very less. Okay, most of the time our ICs we used many number of gates, universal gates, because all the ICs are made up of gates and flip flops, right? So here we have very less count of uh, gates. Okay, that is also one of the reason for the low power. Okay, so if you see this is Cortex M1. Here the first processor. So if you see this one, it is nothing but a Cortex M1, right? So this is the first ARM processor, basically designed for the implementation of FPGAs, right? If you FPGAs means field programmable gate array. You may not be coming this word FPGA. So field programmable gate array. So most of these FPGAs we call it as a FPGA kit, right? If you see in our lab, we will be using this as a when you say FVJs, right? Most of our laboratory will be having FVJ kit. We'll be calling it as a FVJ kit. So what is mean with the FVJ kit means it is an integrated circuit, that is IC designed to be configured by the customer or designer. Okay, so they will be giving the ARM processor in a general way. They will be connected in a kit and they will be given to you. You can program yourself and you can take outputs or you can use for your own design. So that's what we call it as the FPGAs. So most of our laboratories in EC or E&I or EEE, wherever we have kit, we can see this FPGA where the board and the processor all they will be given. Only thing we have to program and give the instruction inside, and you can find how the output instructions are formed. So all the FPGA mostly use these type of Core M1.